But let's look at it from his vantage point. Zeke, in Cabo, nobody's really heard from him, right? Should he take any deal that does not make him the highest paid running back in the NFL?
He's got to. He's got to take the deal.
Come on, Barry.
Where he's making more than Todd Gurley. He has to. Otherwise, this whole effort is in vain.
Yeah.
It's for naught. He has to go for broke. He can't go for, let me go between Gurley and Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Then what good is that? Then what's the point of what you're doing? And then you look at the Cowboys. They have the 2 years left on the contract. Then they could franchise him for 2 more years. So right now, the Cowboys, in my opinion, have all the leverage here.
Okay.
All the leverage.
Listen, it sure didn't sound like it when Jerry was speaking right there. He tried to crack a little joke, and I thought I heard some tears in his throat. You ever leave the house?
Easy. It's a little painful.
Yeah, living the married life. You ever leave the house and wife is like, hey, did you lock the door? And you're like, yeah, I locked it. Yeah.
What had happened was.
Yeah, and then you think to yourself, like, damn, I ain't locked the door. Jerry was saying, we're gonna have him back. And in his head, he's like, you know what? We might not have him back.
We really believe me. I'm telling the truth.
You know, Kay, you're talking about Jerry Jones and saying that he's going to be back, and then the question that everybody wants to know is, should he be the highest paid running back? Well,
should he accept anything less? Is the question.
Yes. And here's Zeke.
Wow,
here's why
really,
you don't need to be the
as a former player, you don't want him to get as much as he can?
I do want him to get as much as he can, but here's the case in point. DeMarco Murray just went through this a couple years ago. You guys remember DeMarco Murray? Led the league in rushing, right? The Cowboys offered him a huge deal.
Right.
It wasn't enough, didn't make him the highest paid guy. He went to Philly because he got a better deal, more money. 2 years later, he wasn't in Philly. He was in Tennessee.
All respect to DeMarco, Zeke's better.
Yeah, Zeke is more dynamic, way more dynamic than DeMarco.
But DeMarco Murray had that big year, and what I'm saying is,
he did.
If DeMarco Murray had stayed in Dallas with that offensive line in that offense, he might still be in the league. Who knows?
Yeah.
So the career trajectory changes now when you go searching for that money. Guess what, Zeke? Don't be caught up in, man, where am I in top 5? Guess what? What matters is, do you play out that contract? Because 2 years from now, that contract is null and void anyways when it comes to the top 5 list. It's just, it's a rotating
cycle, right?
Yeah, those names are written in pencil. What I think Zeke should focus on is, if I think we got a good squad, man, I'm not worried about that money. I'm not worried about, that's personal stuff. I want to go win. And you've got a great offensive line. You've got a quarterback that can win you games if you put the ball in his hand in the fourth quarter.
Sean, it is personal.
And you've got a franchise.
You said it. It's personal. It's officially, once
at some point, it's got to be about the team and about winning, too.
No, from the team perspective, that's what they would like him to look at. I'm talking about from the vantage point of the player who's being offered something apparently between Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell, not making him the top guy. If I'm him, yeah, I can't come back for anything less for all the reasons that Will Selva so eloquently pointed out, Nate, but also because pride is now here. Pride is a huge driving force of this conversation. And Jerry Jones and his side did that when they start saying things like Zeke who and slice of the pie and all of that. So I don't know that he could come back if he's not the highest paid guy, nor should he from his perspective.
The pride aspect, though, goes out the window when you hold out. Because the difference with Le'Veon Bell is he didn't have a contract, he was tagged.
Right.
And with Todd Gurley, he was there, he never held out.
Wanting to prove a point made him sit out an entire year, Lev Bell.
Right. But it was also different because he didn't have 2 years left on his deal. So that's why I think with Zeke it's different.
Yeah.
And it's a totally different case than Lev Bell, who had already been franchised one year before.
Zeke has put himself in a very unique situation. Being 2 years out, we get that. I mean, right out the gate when he decided to hold out, the leverage is in the hands of the person who holds the contract, which is the Cowboys. But to your point about him, taking a little bit of a discount because he's with the Cowboys and they can win, and then, you can re-up in a few years after playing behind a great offensive line. That's great. But that's also a grown man thinking. I'm very logical just like you are. And I've said it here on this show. If I could talk to young Nate, hey, go try to win championships and last longer than trying to get every dollar in red penny. But young Zeke, young Nate, young Sean, young Will, young Kay, maybe you're not thinking like that in your early 20s.
He's already shown us that he's not thinking clearly
You're thinking, hold up, I seen Todd Gurley get paid. I'm trying to get money. The same thing with Dak. You may not think that Dak isn't worth $30 million, $35 million, but if Dak's sitting back saying, wait a minute, Jimmy Garoppolo can get paid, Kirk Cousins can get paid, Matt Stafford get paid, why does the buck got to stop with me? I think that's why Zeke's sitting back saying, why does the buck got to stop with me? The only thing that isn't in his favor is the fact that he's 2 years away, and contracts in this business, they're worth a lot of money, man.